as a home field advantage. Certainly glad you tuned in. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. We are live here at Arrowhead Sports Cards for Trade Night. We welcome to the camera and the microphone Mr. David Dilly, the owner here, or one of the owners, I should say. Uh, David, thanks for having us in tonight.
Thanks for coming in, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, first off, you have to tell me, I collected sports, we used to call them flips, baseball flips when I was a kid.
Right.
Collected them growing up. What is a trade night? What does that look like?
So a trade night is where all these people that are walking in, they're bringing their own collections in, own cards, maybe some cards they want to get rid of. If they're trading with each other. So really, this is just a night for the hobby for those guys to be able to meet other collectors and maybe pick up some other cards that they want. So there was a card show in town today at the Antique Mall at Relics, and some of these guys went out there to pick up cards to bring tonight to trade with other people. So, like, there's Steelers fans and Cowboys fans in here. So you might go to the show and pick up a card cheap and then bring it tonight with the intention of picking up a Mahomes card or something that you want. So that's kind of what's going on. Just different collectors trading with each other, picking up stuff for their own collection.
And David, how often do you do this, throughout the month?
We do this about once a month. That's kind of the average. Our next one's December 9th. Anytime there's a card show in town, we use that on the Saturday night. We have our own little trade night. So yeah, about once a month is what it averages out to.
Very cool. Again, we're live at Arrowhead Sports Cards and here at 210 West Sunshine here in Springfield. Tell us a little bit how to find the place.
If you know where Bass Pro is, you're right across the street. So some of us just know where Chick-fil-A is. Some of us know where the Wendy's is. But there's a McAllister's Deli, and we share.
Was that a crack at us?
Hey, I know exactly. Some people are like, Bass Pro, yep. Nope. Chick-fil-A. Okay, now I know where you're at. So McAllister's is literally, we share a wall with them. So they're right on the other side of us, which is kind of a problem sometimes. So we drink way too much sweet tea.
I'm sure you get this question a lot. How'd you get into this?
Honestly, it's funny, Coach Durosset, a lot of us that teach, coach, a lot of us do this on the side. So I've been doing it really since I was 10 years old, and actually there's another Joey over there. Joey has a shop in West Plains. We did this as kids, and then it just turned into a hobby. And then later on, we made a little bit of money on the side, and then maybe we can turn this into a business and quit our real jobs and do this because it's just something we love and we're passionate about. So that's kind of where it started, and it's turned into something else.
So how long have you been at this location? How long has this store been open?
We opened June 1st. Last year was my last year teaching, so we waited for the school year to end, and literally the following Thursday we opened because I knew those school checks were going to stop really quick, so we wanted to get it going as quickly as possible. But June 1st is when we opened, so we're approaching 6 months. We're about to the 6-month mark.
We took a pan around the store. You see a lot of jerseys hanging up. Give us an idea of maybe some of the most sought after items. I see you got a Bobby Knight signed basketball over there in the corner.
There's a big show in Dallas every 2 months. We go down to that. It's a huge convention. If you're not familiar with card shows, it's like a gun show or a coin show. People just bring their own stuff and buy, sell, trade. So Bobby Knight, we picked that up last month, actually. But we've got, of course, a lot of cheap stuff, but not just football. We've got football, basketball, baseball, tons of Pokemon stuff, Disney stuff. And then we do have a little bit of memorabilia that comes in from time to time. So we've got a little bit of that stuff too.
And you mentioned Coach Durosset alongside Coach Archer's
ran into him at a card shop a time or two also. Yeah. So
now you guys are probably more adept at this than I am. Coach Durosset got here and he was already looking at cards and stuff.
Yeah. My wife told me not to look tonight.
You're on a zero budget.
Keep my head straight forward.
Yeah.
But you guys have had some experience. You guys have had some opportunities to trade cards. And how'd you get started?
Well, same as Mr. Dilly. We just as a kid, you pick the team you like and you start collecting those players from that team. Me, I was a Reds fan, and so the Big Red Machine, and so I was all about Pete Rose and Johnny Bench, and those turned out to be pretty good investments actually through the years. So, but yeah, I've gotten into football and basketball and all of it, and I mean, David's right. I mean, you can make it whatever you want to make it. That's the cool thing about it. You can be as into it as you want to be on a day-to-day basis, or you can set it aside for 6 months and pick up right where you left off.
So a lot of us teachers, you got those 2.5 months off, as they say, but it picks up a little more in the summer. I know we talked. You do it a little harder in the summer because you got a little bit more free time. But then when the school year kicks up, they kind of push it to the side for a little while, especially during basketball season. You're probably not buying a bunch of cards right now, but when that shuts down, then you can kind of go back to. It's kind of it's therapy for some of us. It's just something to do, and other people take it a little step farther.
I still can't believe I let myself get inside of a Cubs fan and a Reds fan. I should be on the outside looking into this. But,
Can't believe I'm sitting next to a St. Louis Cardinals fan.
Yeah, I know.
It is funny because a lot of people walk in here and they're like, "Is it only Chief stuff, really?" And I'm like, no, we've got other people too. We've even got a Jets fan over there. I mean, you don't see those very often.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit of things for everybody. It's a fun hobby. You can't razz each other about your team. What fun is sports? Wouldn't be any fun.
So tell us one more time the location. How long will you be here tonight?
Tonight we'll probably be here till about 1 in the morning. We do this trade night thing. It's officially till midnight, but it usually takes a little bit longer to get everybody out of here, which is okay. But right across the street from Bass Pro, if you're familiar with the area, there's a Dollar Tree and a Rapid Roberts on that side of the strip, but on the back side of that, you've got McAllister's, and there's a bookstore, and we're right there sandwiched in the middle of that. So
I wouldn't know where the bookstore is.
yeah,
Exactly. I do
exactly.
know.
Coaches don't have to read, right?
Well, hey, David, again, we appreciate you letting us come in and be a part of this. I'm interested to see how this goes. We'll probably just set the camera up
Sounds good.
and let folks kind of watch and follow along here. But again, you're
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The Walnut Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State Campus, Hammonds Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
first game. Is that right? First playoff game. So good for them.
Yeah, it was 31-28 was that final. It was back and forth the entire time. But McDonald County, that's their first quarterfinal visit ever, and you got Chip City coming in, and that is something else. But a couple of blowouts. You had Lamar winning easy over Lafayette County, which kind of suspected. Valley Catholic just absolutely ran roughshod over there for life, but they're Class 3 now. But still a lot of private schools left, especially on the soccer side. I'm not getting those. I'm not playing.
I'm not going there. I'm involved again, so I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Speaking of that, the districts came out. Our district assignments for basketball. Anything kind of jump out at you outside of Mount Vernon? Bolivar boys and girls are split up again. Girls go to Kansas City, and the boys go out maybe Marshfield or something like that for their district, or within that district with Marshfield.
Yeah, I think the girls side of that district is surprising, just going that far north and picking up some of those teams that they never play. I mean, literally never play and until it would be down the line normally. So I think that's a little bit of a surprise. I don't know those teams maybe well enough to know where Bolivar would fit in that, but certainly that's a different path for them than what they're used to.
Well, Hannah's senior year, I believe was that your last year?
It was at Bolivar. Yes.
Did you also do the same thing?
Yeah, we went that way 3 or 4 years in a row. It just kind of worked out that way to where everything we did, we went north and moved that direction, including in 2015 when we went to Final Four. We played St. Joe Benton at Liberty North High School to get to the Final Four, which was an unusual route for a Southwest Missouri team to be able to get there. And the ironic part of it is we were separated from Hillcrest by about maybe 25, 30 miles, and we ended up playing each other in the state finals. So it's unique the way that works out, and with Misha changing up districts year after year, there's going to be some surprises, and looking forward to seeing how things work out for all classes in both the boys and girls side.
And not many people know this, but Coach Archer's back into coaching at Walnut Grove on the girls' side. Tell us about your district draw.
Yeah, we got a good district draw, and it's like I told the girls the other day, we'll worry about districts when districts roll around unless we're playing a district opponent. So, there's a lot of basketball to be played between now and then. Many factors can step in throughout the season. So we're just going to take it one day at a time and hopefully get better every day. And that's about all we can do at this point.
Coach Drossett, athletic director and basketball coach at Pleasant Hope, and your district came out as well.
Yeah, formidable district for sure. Sparta, Greenwood, Fairgrove, Forsyth. There's some teams in there that can really play. So that's always a challenge. Just personally, that's a challenge for our team to match up with those folks. But there's going to be some disappointed teams in that district, some really good teams that will end up falling short just because of the way that lines out. So obviously Sparta, Greenwood, Fairgrove, they can play with about anybody, anywhere. So it should be a good district for us to be in.
You've got the always popular Walnut Grove Holiday Tournament.
Yes.
That starts, I think, 3 weeks before Christmas, I believe.
It starts 1 week before Christmas this year. We have 16 boys teams, 16 girls teams, some very good teams on both sides of the ledger, and I've been given the duty to take over that tournament, so I'm treading water right now, trying to keep my head above water and getting our season going, and then obviously planning on trying to get things put together for the tournament. But a lot of tradition there with that tournament, and Coach Drossett actually ran that tournament for several years, and so I've been leaning on him a little bit to get some ideas of what we need to do to move forward. But Coach Henry's been really good with us and in working with me and kind of hold my hand through the process. But it's a huge undertaking when you've got 32 teams coming in over Christmas time. I like to think of it as one of the best small school holiday tournaments in the state.
Oh, absolutely. I can remember back when I had an AD hat, and a basketball coach's hat on. We used to go down to Mount Grove. Mount Grove had a holiday tournament and I can't. His name just left me now. That had been at Verona when he first started, and was back as an assistant at Mount Grove. He's passed on now. And I would think of it probably at a break.
Yes.
And I can see his face, Joe Easter.
Yeah, Coach
Joe
Easter.
Easter. And see, I knew we'd get it. And we used to go down there. When we had the trophy shop, we would send the trophies down there and we'd take them on the bus with us and go down. And then the Walnut Grove tournament kind of got started kind of on the heels of that. At that time, the blue and gold was still single elimination. And so teams, a lot of the smaller schools, they didn't want to give up a tournament just to play one game. And so that Walnut Grove tournament started. And to this day, still the best hospitality room that I had ever been in. Have you seeded for that tournament?
We have not. We will have the seed tournament December 6th, and we will make sure to post that when it becomes available. But like I said, we've got a lot of good teams on both sides of the bracket that we're going to host this winter, and really looking forward to it.
Outstanding. I'll tell you what, we're going to take another quick break here. When we come back, we'll run through the soccer scores from today at Michigan. We'll be back after these messages.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy Cybercash. Visit ChevyCybercash.com today.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Get the heck away from the table.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad you tuned in. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Also presented by Great Southern Bank. Great Southern Bank, more than 100 locations in 6 states. Great Southern Bank, they care as much about your money as you do. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. Member FDIC. We are live at Arrowhead Sports Card for trade night here at 210 West Sunshine in Springfield. David Dillon, one of the owners, is alongside of us. So we'll go back to David here before we run through the soccer scores from today. And I believe there's still one match that doesn't begin until 7 tonight, which may be the Class 4 state championship. So we'll run through what we have. But David, once again, hey, I appreciate you letting us come in.
Thank you for joining us, guys. It's awesome to have you here.
And for the folks just now tuning in, kind of
It's even okay to have
let us, again, kind of tell us what's going to be going on here tonight. The room is kind of starting to fill up here, and you may get some ambient noise, but
guys here just bring their own cards to trade with each other. That's pretty much what this night's about. Some of them are trying to make a few bucks. Some of them are just collecting and picking up stuff that they want to keep. But that's kind of what tonight's about, giving people an avenue to do that, meet other collectors, because we don't always find each other. We didn't know. I didn't know Coach DeRosa collected cards. I didn't know Coach Archer collected cards. We just happened to run into each other at card shops. And that's kind of what this is. They're like, man, I didn't even know you collected cards. So it's just an outlet for them to find a way to meet some other guys and gals. There's girls in here too that trade cards, collect cards. You know.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Pawn Stars. I don't know if you've watched that.
Right.
You get guys come in and think their cards are worth a lot more or maybe a lot less than what they are.
So if we should start a tally, it's probably 25 times a week. We have to break people's hearts, and that's the hardest part of this job. Is you look on eBay or you look on the internet, and there's a lot of bad information out there, just like any other industry. So finding out that your stuff is really not what it is, or the opposite. Hey, no, this is a Kobe rookie card. This is actually worth $60. Sometimes you get to be the good guy, but more often than not, we're the bad guys that have to show them and do a little bit of educating them on the hobby. And I'm 41, so the stuff we collected as kids in that 87 to 93 is not really worth a whole heck of a lot.
When you say we, you're using that term a little
Yeah,
bit.
you guys aren't a day over. You're like 42, 43, right?
Yeah, I got socks that old.
But yeah, we do a lot of that. Having to tell people, it's only worth this or whatever. That's part of the bad part of being on the other side of the counter, is sharing that information.
So give me an idea of maybe 2 or 3 of your most prized possessions in there.
Let's see. We just got back from Dallas, so we sold a lot of good cards. But anytime I can get my hands on Mahomes cards, we had a Mickey Mantle rookie card in the shop. It wasn't mine, but that guy, he graded an SGC. But we had a Mantle rookie card in here. Any Mahomes stuff, Kelsey stuff. Jordan stuff. Anytime I get my hands on Jordan stuff, it's really hard to sell it. I might price it like $5 too high, hoping nobody buys it, but usually Jordan stuff doesn't last very long. So, because those are the kind of cards that if the whole industry was to flop and I had to take those cards home with me, I'd be okay with that. So usually myself, I'd buy guys that I'd be okay with having to keep if it ever came to that.
Give me your hours of operation. When are you open, close,
So
what days?
We're closed Sunday, Monday. Monday, my daughter's a Fairgrove kid, so they're out of school on Monday, so that's my day to hang out with her. But Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6 is typically our hours. On nights like tonight, we'll be here till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, because on these trade nights it's extended hours, but for the most part it's 10 to 6. Saturday's 10 to 7. If you just think 10 to 6, we're usually here all but Sunday and Monday.
She pretty excited the Eagles won today. That's what Father told me.
Yeah, that's big stuff, man. I'm happy for them. It's good to see them win that game.
So they move on. They go to the semifinal, and they won't see Lamar, and they won't see Bowling Green. Lamar and Bowling Green will play each other.
In fact, I don't know if your camera can pan, but right over there in the corner, the Lady Eagles that won the state title last year.
I've got it.
The girls signed the jersey. So if they ever want to come see that was pretty cool. Coach Talbert and we went to college together, so I called her up. I'm like, hey, what do I got to do to get one of those home these jobs? They made it happen, so that was pretty cool. So we've always got that up in the corner for people to see. So.
Very good. Once again, go ahead.
I'm speechless.
I'm sorry. I thought I stepped on somebody, but. Well, we appreciate once again. We appreciate you coming in. We'll come back to you one more time here before we get out of here. But right now, we're gonna run through the soccer scores and get on with business here. So, again, you're watching and listening to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. In Class 1 soccer, and these are boys soccer scores from today in the state championship game. Deschênes defeats Bishop DeBerg 1-0 in the championship game. In the third place game, Maryville shuts out Lakeway 5-0. In Class 2 boys Final Four action today, championship game, Westminster Christian defeats Rogersville. Rogersville finishes the season with 1 loss. They were perfect going into that contest. They get beat 1-0 today. And in the third place game, Orchard Farm defeats Excelsior Springs 3-2. In Class 3 boys soccer state championship, it was East Kansas City over Leduc 2-0. And in the third place game, Rockwood Summit gets Springfield Catholic 4-1. And in Class 4, Class 4 going on right now, the state championship game. Rockhurst is matched up with Park Hill South, and that game actually hasn't even begun yet. So, and then the third place game, Lindbergh versus John Burroughs, that game started at 5 p.m. and has not gone final at this time. All right, we will take another quick timeout. We'll be back here after these messages from the Missouri Sports Network.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And that phrase is catching up with Be Safe, Be Smart, Be Here Tomorrow. I think I've said both of those about as often as anything all year long. Looking at, let's see here, this is boys soccer. I wanted to switch over to football. Finals today in quarterfinal action, an 8-man Archie, 82-42 over Lockwood. I believe that's the second time they've played this year, but Archie's been number one all season long in 8-man football, and I'm looking forward to the possibility of them meeting up with Bramer. I should make sure Bramer won.
They did.
And they did.
Yeah.
So Bramer wins 84-51 over St. Paul Lutheran. And Jordan Haley from Bramer has set all kinds of new records. Week 6, he was averaging 11 touchdowns per game and 600 yards.
One-man wrecking crew. We've had him on as an athlete of the week, and a very deserving young man. And he's kind of put Bramer football on the map, so to speak. That's not normally a team that you would think as an 8-man football powerhouse in most years, but he has done a great job, and they keep rolling.
Well, one team that came to an end last night, or season came to an end last night, was Plattsburgh and Isaiah Howard, a young man who I think owns every record in Class 1 basketball, and I know he owns all the records at Plattsburgh. Decided to go out for football this year and had a heck of a year, but their season comes to an end last night to South Holt, and was it 60-58 on the last 10 seconds?
South Holt scored with, I believe, 4 seconds remaining in the game, and to seal a win. A little bit of controversy on whether or not he got across the score or across the end line, but nonetheless, it was counted as a touchdown, and South Holt moves on.
And then how good is that kid? To just come out. We all know what he is in basketball, but he was a game changer in football. Even his future's bright, no matter what he chooses to do.
Yeah, he's going on to play basketball. I want to say North Dakota State, one of those two, or it's South Dakota, one of the Dakotas. But he's playing Division I basketball, and he's put Plattsburgh on the map. I remember Coach Love contacting me when we first started this, and said, "Hey, I've got a young man up here that needs some recognition." And little did we know, the relationship that we have with Coach Love and Plattsburgh, and having Isaiah Howard on as a two-time athlete of the week. Special young man, and we're going to keep hearing that name during basketball season.
Absolutely. I could go back over the 12 years of Chevrolet, sponsoring Athletes of the Week. I can remember not more than a handful of kids got it twice.
Yeah, he's very deserving. And he'll be in line to get it again coming up this winter.
Andy Haney from West Plains.
Very deserving.
And Roller. Addie.
Yeah.
I would get those two mixed up.
Yeah.
Addie Roller from Purdy won it twice. So, I don't know. That's and he may win it the third time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's in line for another one, I'm sure.
It's pretty select company too. I mean, those two you named were legit players.
Oh, Doriel Greenbeckham.
Yeah, right.
He won it twice.
Yeah.
And, so we've had a handful of them that have won it 2 times. I think Doriel was the only one that won it in 2 different sports.
Yeah, right.
But I think one that became the all-time leading scorer in Springfield Public School history. Or maybe it was Springfield area, Springfield City School history. And I think that was broken by Jordan Walker from Glendale. Jordan Walker, I think he's the right fielder for the Cardinals. And anyway, they will move on. They will play Worth County, who defeated Schuyler County. I think the state championship very well could be Archie and Brainerd, and that's in that first semifinal. Class 1, like I said earlier, I got to see maybe the game of the year between Marionville and Portageville, 17-14. Marionville. And that may have been the state championship game.
Don't count out North Platte. They're pretty solid. That Milan North Platte game on that side of the bracket is going to be a knockdown drag out next weekend. So be interesting to see who comes out of that. And hey, if you get to this point, we haven't mentioned St. Vincent. St. Vincent absolutely rolled in their quarterfinal games. So 4 very good teams in Class 1 football to try to play to get to the state championship game.
Yeah, St. Vincent 45-14 over Crystal City, and it's with Class 1 Marionville, you get to see them. I got to see Portageville. So you kind of think, I don't know a lot about Class 1.
Sure.
It's tough.
I too seen Marionville. I saw them early in the year, and even then, I mean, it was early, and I think we even talked about it one night that I was really high on Marionville. Kind of typical Marionville, physical up front, and try to manhandle it at the point of the ball, and they don't get away from what they do, and that's what I like about Marionville. I like their chances, but like Coach Archer said, anything can happen from this point on. So
They get Milan gets a 13-12 win over Penny. That's I was surprised heck to see that. That was a final.
Yeah.
Score. Marionville, I was talking to Coach Penrod from Portageville before the game today because I got down there before they did. Of course, they had to drive 5.5 hours to get there, but they did drive up last night and stayed at Ozark, so they didn't have quite the drive to come over. But he was telling me he was surprised when he was looking at the film and the roster that Marionville was as young as what they were. He thought they were senior dominated, and they're not. So they're going to be very talented again next year.
The male athletes at Marionville as a whole right now in every sport, they've really got a chance to be really good across the board.
Yeah, basketball as well, and Coach and I'm sorry,
Coach Guerin.
Guerin,
Yep.
Rob Guerin, yeah. I saw him over there last year a couple of different times. Class 2, Valley Catholic. I mean, 47-14. Today they win over Live for Life, and they move on, and they draw off Fair Grove. And I'd like to know. I'm going to check right now and see if they've decided where that game's going to be at yet. But I would imagine that would be at Fair Grove. Fair Grove traveling. Nope, it's in St. Genevieve, so they're on the road again.
Hey, at this point in time, you don't care where you play. You're just glad you're still playing, and you pull up in a parking lot somewhere and go play as long as you're still in it. And what a great season Fair Grove's had. They're really rolling right now. I really was concerned about them facing Tolton, Father Tolton, with up from the Columbia area. They had a very good year this year, and were just absolutely steamrolling opponents on their schedule. And I think Father Tolton led throughout most of that game until about the fourth quarter, and Fair Grove obviously made a push and got the win, and they move on.
So they got Valley Catholic, and then the other side of the bracket intrigues me because Bowling Green has been putting up stupid numbers all season long.
And they've been beating people.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like they haven't played anybody. They're beating people.
So Lamar gets their win over Lafayette County. Bowling Green takes on East Buchanan, two-time defending state champions, and it was over early. I mean, it's 50-22, and Bowling Green got to talk with Coach St. Clair a couple of weeks ago, and God bless him, he had agreed to the interview, and then he texted me and said, I don't know that I'm able to do this. And I said, why? Well, I just had a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
And he'd had a heart attack on Thursday night before the game, but he still came on Friday. And so he's a trooper, obviously, and maybe the kids are feeding off of that, too, with what he's going through. But so Bowling Green will take on Lamar, and I'll check and see where that game is. But it is Lamar, Missouri, and that is a tough place to play.
Yes, it is.
It is indeed. So, Class 3, and you got Seneca, who really handled Ava on Friday night, 56-8. They will move on. They're going to play St. Pius X, and maybe a little bit of a surprise. They're coming out of that Maryville bracket. And 2 weeks ago, if you told me that Maryville was going to get beat, I'd say no way in heck.
Yeah.
And St. Pius X obviously playing really well right now. They get a 42-7 win over Odessa. But you look at this bracket here in Class 3. You've got Seneca, you've got St. Pius X, and you got Blair Oaks, who's on the other side of the bracket, and then Park Hill Central. That's going to be a lot of fun too.
Yes, it will. That class is loaded as far as state semifinals, and there's some heavy hitters in there. A lot of programs there with a lot of history and tradition, and state championships banners hung up in the gymnasium. So be interesting to see how this all pans out. I mean, your semifinal games are essentially state championship games the week before the state championships. So really good matchups.
Yeah, I'm a Big 8 guy, so I'm going to pick Seneca to win that.
There's certainly a lot of depth. There's a lot of depth in that class for sure. I think just program rich, deep. I think that bracket is probably the most intriguing in terms of trying to figure it out. And I don't know that you would call any of them true favorites. I mean, it's just wide open, in my opinion.
Seneca is at home. It's have you ever been to Seneca? They've still got that totem pole up in the end zone, and that was a nightmare when I was in high school. Was going there, and had Shannon Crouch at that time, who was unbelievable athlete who would own every state record, rushing record in the state history had he been able to play in the third and fourth quarter. He didn't play. Here's the story. Shannon Crouch we were same age. My senior year, we're ranked third in the state in Class 3. They're ranked number 1 in the state, Class 2. It's a conference game. It's at Mount Vernon. I don't play. I got run up on the back on something the day before. It didn't anything as far as districts or anything like that because it was districts different. So I didn't play. Patrick O'Slater didn't play. Crouch on Thursday, they get new breakaway rims in their hand. And he goes, and he'll tell you the story. He goes up just jacking around trying to dunk a volleyball. Gets caught up in the net when he comes back down on his hands and dislocates his shoulder. So Coach Tom Hodge, Hall of Fame coach Tom Hodge, tells me, you're not playing. We're up 32-6 at half. Crouch at halftime goes in, literally tapes his separated shoulder under his jersey, under his shoulder pad, grabs the ball one-handed in the second half, rushes for 220 yards and 5 touchdowns, and they beat us. It was unfreaking believable. And every time I see him, I have to tell that story. He just laughs. And we talk quite a bit, still on the phone now. He's a motorcycle highway patrolman. He's retiring in February. But he was the best high school athlete I ever played against. Maybe in any sport. Class 4, Hillsboro moves on. Coach Sikorsky has got them rolling right now. But the bottom of that bracket is Lutheran North.
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations on getting to the Final Four in football. You get to play Lutheran North. Hillsboro's had some very close games the last couple of weeks and have found ways to win. But once again, that's the beautiful thing about this time of year. Hey, you've still got to line up and play. And they'll be coached up, ready to go, I'm sure.
Yeah, that Lutheran North Hannibal game last night it was 62-27 at one time, and Hannibal gets all the way back in it. And of course, they've got a Notre Dame committed running back.
Aeneas Williams, and hey, that kid may be playing on Sundays here in the future. He is that talented. And, from what I heard, he kind of hit that team on his back, and just really was not going to let them lose. But unfortunately, they came up short for them. But we kind of penciled in Lutheran North as the odds-on favorite to win that class. But I was really surprised on the other side too how easily Kearney handled Nevada. I think that kind of threw up a notice to everybody else in the state that Kearney's got a good team, and to beat Smithville in the district championship game, pretty impressive.
Yeah, and they did it by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that Kearney team, they've got to be right now. I mean, it's. Yeah, I think the state championship in Class 4 will be in the state championship game.
Yes, I do too.
I don't think it's going to be in either one of the semifinals.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. I was trying to watch that game last night while I was doing the scores. I was like, holy cow! And then you kept flashing them up from the green room.
The final was 70-61.
Yeah. I thought they were going to get back in it.
Yeah, they tried. They sure tried.
Class 5. Moving on, and at Cape Central, as they defeat Eureka last night, 32-29. Coach Sumner was going to come on with us yesterday, and then opted out of it, so he didn't get any good karma for coming on the show prior to the game. Yeah, they get beat, and Cardinal Ritter. This is sick.
Yeah. They've got a very special team. They are for real, and gosh, once again, here's your prize for getting to the state semifinal. You get to face Cardinal Ritter.
Well, all Cardinal Ritter done is in the last 3 games scored 210 points. I mean, it is. They've given up just 24 to MICDS, and then 14 to Fort Zumwalt North last night.
Yeah.
So 210 to 38 in the last 3 games. And this is in districts, and this is postseason. This ain't like games 1, 2, and 3. This is postseason where everybody's pretty good. So I just don't know. And then of course you got Webb City on the other side. Webb City Republic are going to meet again. And that's in Republic.
Yeah, what a classic matchup, right? If you've got the Southwest Missouri roots like that, that's kind of a matchup that we all kind of expect, and it's enjoyable for everybody. Webb City's kind of in a different era. Obviously, they do the same things, and they still got a system there, but a little different era for them. So it's going to be fun to watch that game for sure.
Well, Ryan Cornelson at Republic, he was at Gardner Webb out of Kansas there. And had a lot of success there. Moved out here. He and Wes Beachler, who's at Nevada, are very good friends. Went to college together. Kind of told him about this area. Of course, Republic, you've seen the facilities at Republic. Not a bad place to go. I mean, they're chasing Nixon right now as far as facilities. And they've got the money and the revenue coming in with the Republic is building things everywhere. And they got Amazon there now, so their enrollment's going to go up there. They may be the next Class 6 school. come out of Southwest Missouri. But that's a great matchup there. But you got to wonder, is it going to matter? But anytime you got a Cardinal on your helmet, if you get to that game, that's worth 2 touchdowns. Cardinal Ritter, they got Cardinal in their name. So that's something else there. But Class 6, CDC, kind of usual suspects. Jackson's had a great year, but they beat CDC beat Jackson last night. Smet, they handled Rockbridge by a touchdown, 23-16. So Smet and CDC will meet. And Rockhurst gets Nixa last night. They will face Liberty North. That Nixa game I was watching, Nixa jumped out early. They scored with a minute 55 into the game, went up 7-0. Then they were outscored 38-7. The remainder of that contest was, I think it was depth just got to them, kind of handled a little bit up front. But that's not going to last long with the guys they got up front.
Well, and I think Rockhurst has kind of been flying under the radar this year, just quietly taking care of business. And I mean, you think about they put out at least Summit North, who on paper looked like they were poised to get back to the state championship game and maybe finish the job this year. But and then to put out Nixa, Rockhurst and Liberty North, and I like the way everything lines up because you've got your St. Louis. 2 best teams out of St. Louis playing each other for a chance to go to the state finals. And then you got your 2 best teams out of Kansas City playing each other. Last year, they kind of went across state. It worked out that you had a Kansas City team, St. Louis team, but this year we're guaranteed that.
Yeah, you look at that, and Rockhurst obviously a lot of history. The Smet, a lot of history. CBC, a lot of history, recent history. Liberty North maybe has the least amount of history of anybody in this Final Four in Class 6. But Andy Lerman does such a great job up there. He's always been generous with his time. I mean, he's come on almost every week with us. And he's got the Keelan Smith, kid, wide receiver going to Nebraska. It's kind of a difference maker there. But if you could be at any game, when I count travel or anything like that, what game would you want to see next week in the semifinals?
I'm intrigued by the Republic Webb City game. I really am, and I'm sure it has to do with the Southwest Missouri roots. But that one intrigues me. I think that would be a good one. And obviously the Marionville game, that one intrigues me as well from the Southwest Missouri standpoint as well.
For me, I think it would be CVC and the Smet. Anytime those 2 teams get together, it's literally a holy war, and they will get after it, and that's going to be one heck of a game next weekend.
I think I kind of tend to pick maybe somebody I'm not that familiar with, don't know a lot about. I think I'd like to go to the Lamar Bowling Green game.
Yeah,
I'd like to see. Okay, kid Bowling Green kid, are they for real? Or maybe see the Bramer and Archie. Yeah. See if that kid can.
There may be 100 points put up on each side. It may be a race to see who gets to 100 first, and there's your win.
It's going to be a lot of fun. One more time before we get out of here. An hour into the show here, we'll go back to David Dilly here at Arrowhead Sports Cards. And David, it is filled up here in the room. Tell us a little bit about what's going on here tonight. And how
you got 2 seconds to plug your show? Can you do that? You don't want to be on camera, do you? All right.
I'll do it.
Do it? All right. So they've got a card show coming up in town. That's the first show that they're putting on. December 9th?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Come on up here.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
First off, you got to tell us who you are.
Oh, I'm Dory Beckner. My husband is big into cars, so I'm just the helper of the promoting. I do a bunch of it. So, that's who I am.
And tell us about the card show and how you got involved in it, where and when.
So my husband just started the card journey about a year ago and got really into it, and so he just thought that there needs to be a bigger card show in Springfield.
I really put you on the spot, didn't I?
Oh, fine. I don't like talking. He really wants to make a bigger card show. Obviously, this is starting off small, but he really wanted to do something himself. So he decided to do his own card show, and that's what he's trying to do on December 9th, I believe. It's Saturday. And so it's going to be a card show just right outside of Springfield at a bingo hall, actually. That's what we're starting at. We got to start small to get big, Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So that'll be
December 9th.
December 9th, and that'll be our next trade night. Will be immediately after that. So that's kind of how we do the trade nights, because we know there's people coming from out of town already with cards on the brain. So we kind of do our trade night right after that. So that'll be a good
Oh,
one.
and there's gonna be about 40 tables. That's probably
Yeah,
what
there'll be
right?
plenty of cool stuff to look at.
Yeah.
A lot of the same faces you see here will be there at the card show.
And again, how long are you here tonight?
We'll be here till midnight, maybe later. Probably one-ish. Thanks for coming out, guys. Appreciate it.
You bet. You bet. We've enjoyed it. And I can't buy any cards because I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Well, you're the best.
And I want to buy cards, but my wife won't let me.
All right. Very good. You've been watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com live from Arrowhead Sports Cards here for trade night. Join us at 210 West Sunshine in Springfield, Missouri. And what's your phone number here if somebody wants to call if they've got questions?
417-328-8946. And if your wife won't let you buy cards, we can ring it up as an oil change.
Done.
All right. Very, very good. Well, David, thanks for letting us come in.
Appreciate
Thanks
it,
for the
guys.
hospitality. And hey, keep it right here as always at the Missouri Sports Network, presented by Lyota Laborers Local 663, Oak Propane, Central Bank of the Ozarks, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, and Arrowhead Sports Cards.
Why did you get your oil changed 8 times this year?
Right.
Hey, and as always, Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart.